The reality war will be hitting our screens in a matter of days, and the BBC have just released a whole host of interesting preview images for us to look at and break down. Not only that, but the wonderful Russell T Davies is once again at it on Instagram, giving us cryptic teases, giving us cryptic clues as to what we can expect in this week's upcoming biggest ever finale. We'll talk more about that later, but just to give you a little preview, we're probably going to get an explanation for bi-generation. I say probably, Russell's promised an explanation for bi-generation. So we're probably going to learn a lot more about that. Add this to Shooty Gatwa's comments about the exploration of Gallifreyan history, Gallifreyan lore, and the Doctor's past. We're going to be in for a controversial season finale. And you know what? The last time this happened, the time this children aired. And I enjoyed it, okay? I don't care what people say. I thought it was good fun. So I'm strapped in. I'm excited. But before we delve into all of these, let's take a look. I mean, I feel like this needs to become a segment. It's that time of week again. Viewing figures and the viewing figures discourse. Let's take a look at Doctor Who's latest viewing figures. How did they do purely on the overnights? We've got to remember, weekly reminder, that these viewing figures do not include anybody like myself who watched on BBC iPlayer. They don't include Disney Plus. These viewing figures are purely the people that watched it go out live on television. We'll take a look at this article from TV Zone at TV Zone UK, or at TV UK Zone. Doctor Who falls to pre-Eurovision levels, but remains consistent and at the upper end of the series so far. More details here. We'll take a look at all the viewing figures comparatively, and if you don't care about viewing figures, feel free to skip ahead to some of the Russell T Davies comments and new images, because not everybody cares about viewing figures, but I know there's a bunch of you out there who do keep up with this, and I find it quite interesting, to be fair. Doctor Who continued on BBC One on Saturday the 24th of May with Wishworld, which scored overnight an overnight audience. That wasn't even me, that was badly written article. Sorry TV Zone, you're a great news source. You actually are, to be fair. Shout out to TV Zone. But they scored an overnight audience of 1.8 million. The consolidated rating, which will include iPlayer devices and catch-up, will be released on the 2nd of June. Overall, it was the BBC's third most watched primetime offering of the day. Now, this is the part that's far more important than the actual figure. It's where it charts within the BBC's, production? What am I trying to say? Within the BBC's output, it was the third most watched primetime offering, which really isn't bad. It's only behind the Hit List and Celebrity Bridge of Lies. It was 5th of the day, which, it's not terrible. If you look back to the Tennant era, it was, I think, often around 6th or 7th of the day, but this is the thing, comparing episodes is so tricky now because of how much the TV landscape has evolved. I know I say it every week, but it needs to be emphasised that those YouTubers out there that are comparing, the Voyage of the Damned viewing figures to the Reality War viewing figures are just crazy. There is no comparison there. TV is in such a different point. As I say, a lot of this is made to go on Disney Plus, and we don't actually know the viewing figures for Disney Plus. But ITV continued to dominate Saturday nights with Britain's Got Talent and the 1% Club. So it's not bad. I think this is the pattern. We'll take I'll put them on screen now, but some of the ratings so far, we've got the first 4 episodes here. The consistent pattern is just sort of slight ups and slight downs. I think Doctor Who has a very consistent 2 million fan base that will watch no matter what, which the BBC would be crazy to sort of ignore, and I don't think they will, to be fair to them. But yeah, if you look at episode 1's overnight, it was 2 million, episode 2's 1.58 million, then 1.86 million, then 1.5 million, then 1.59 million, then 2.57 million. Now that one is a bit of an anomaly because it was the Eurovision Song Contest right after, and a big was it the FA Cup final? I don't do football, as you could probably tell. But I think there was the FA Cup final before. I'm going with that, but that's what we're running with. And then Eurovision after. So there will be an inflated viewing number there for episode 6. Then episode 7, 1.8 million. So it is on the higher end of the season, and that's kind of to be expected for a season finale, but yeah, it's not all doom and gloom, it's not the end of the world. This figure will definitely go up with time, and I imagine all episodes will get a little boost once the season's out. I personally know a couple of people, like Sam, shout out to Sam, who are like, oh, I'll wait till the season's done, then binge it all. Okay, that's how TV works nowadays. A lot of people are doing that. We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, this is exactly why Disney and the BBC are waiting to see until after season 2 is done, see what the viewing figures are like, seeing if there's a boost afterwards, because, yeah, that's how TV works now. They need to know, will the figures go up for a season 3? We'll have to wait and find out. Okay, our first cryptic little tease for this upcoming episode from Russell T Davies. Somebody asked him here over on Instagram, will there be an explanation for bi-generation? And Russell replied, actually, yes, with a thumbs up. My mind on hearing this immediately jumps to this must be to do with the Rani. The Rani is obsessed with genetic experimentation, all of that jazz. She probably caused or experimented or made bi-generation once the salt was sprinkled. It was supposed to be a myth, but it was able to be brought into reality by the Rani. Or maybe the Rani has been following the Doctor for longer than we think, saw the Doctor bi-generate and said, I want to do that for myself, so figured out a way to make herself bi-generate. How this ties in with space babies, etc. I'm still gunning that space babies are like her experiment. Like Anita Dobson said at that Comic-Con, you can watch one of my prior videos to see this clip, but she said at a Comic-Con, once she read the season finale script, space babies all made sense, and it all clicks into place. So, what's the Rani's plan? We know she's trying to bring back Gallifrey, but how this includes space babies and bi-generation, we'll just have to wait and see. Could the bi-generation be a way of making Omega a body? Like, she wants to bring back Omega, and in the trailer she says, like, bringing Omega's body will allow me to build a new Gallifrey. What if she's using, like, she bi-generates so that she can offer Mrs. Flood, or the 14th Doctor, or the 15th Doctor, or some form of bi-generation energy to allow Omega to have a physical form and a body in our universe. Could be something along those lines. Now, there are more comments from Russell T Davies over on Instagram, some intriguing stuff, but I'm going to save that for my next video, so stay tuned for that. It's going to come out later today. Sorry to do a Doctor Who on you there, to be continued. But yeah, there's more interesting comments made by Russell to discuss. Subscribe, notification bell on. Later today we're going to discuss all of that, plus some big theories on the Timeless Child. And it could dip into controversy, so stay tuned for that. But before you go, let's take a look at all of these new images. I mean, it's that time of week again where Doctor Who, whoever I don't know where they initially spring from, but the Black Archives Doctor Who unofficial fan website, like, brilliant source for images. That's where I've got these from this week. They always get like a preview set of images for the upcoming episode, and there's a very notable absence of this week's images, which is quite intriguing, but let's take a look at them, let's break them down. As we look at them, try and spot the one thing that they're all missing, okay? First image we have is Belinda and Poppy. Now, in the trailer, we know that Belinda's motive in this episode is, I'm going to get my daughter back. So, is Poppy related to Belinda? I mean, surely not biologically, but who knows? Who knows? I think Belinda's got that motherly instinct, and even though Poppy's not really her child, like it was done in this wish world, she feels that motherly connection, and she just wants to help out. Belinda's character throughout the whole season has been trying to help people that need it, so it makes sense to stick that in here. But yeah, we've got Belinda. I have no idea where they are. Possibly, is this Unit? Are they inside one of those vault things, perhaps? Inside Unit HQ there? I think they might be. I mean, it's difficult to tell. It's also difficult to know, because at the end of last episode we saw Unit fall, well, everything in the world fall into the Underverse. But this seems to be like the world is functioning again. The Bone Beasts are still here though, but yeah, intriguing. Then here we see Belinda and Poppy clearly in the Unit helipad room, the big Unit office that we see every episode. And yeah, I mean, I really don't quite get how this all works, but what's intriguing here, this seems to be like, that steering thing looks like they're in a ship, like a giant spaceship over London. Maybe it's just the operating controls for a big gun, because we've seen in the trailer there's a lot of guns firing at all the bone beasts out the windows and stuff, as Unit Tower is sort of assaulted by them. But yeah, that implies to me they're in some sort of airship. Like, that looks like an airship. I wonder if there's going to be like a really cool sequence where like the unit ops room can sort of lift off and become an airship, like in event of emergency or something. That springs out the ground and they can sort of pilot it, and the Vlinx is like a co-pilot. The Vlinx is back, by the way. Look at him there in all his useless glory. I wonder if he'll do anything of consequence this episode, or if he'll just go straight back into the floor again. Then we've got Conrad and the Rani looking quite mysteriously. I mean, the Rani doesn't seem too bothered. Conrad looks very intense. I think Conrad's probably going to try and double-cross her or threaten her or something along those lines, and she's just going to be like, oh, shut up, Conrad, and probably kill him. I reckon that's where this is headed, because you've got two-time ladies, you've got like the first Time Lord, you've got a Wish Baby, then you've got this grifter podcast bloke. Unless, right, there's a lot of theories going around about the Master or Omega inhabiting Conrad's body. We could be in for something like that. Maybe this is after that confrontation and the Rani's like, Omega, are you there? And Conrad is Omega now. But I think that's possibly unlikely. Then we've got a twist at the end. How could I not? We've got Susan Triad, played by Susan Twist, back again in what I presume is this either the unit ops room or the big flying unit ship that I guess we will see. You've got a very very nice retro future sort of control panel in front of her there. How all this ties in, I don't know, because the one notable absence from all these images is the Doctor. Where is the Doctor? Now, presumably, he's in the Underverse, isn't he? Hopefully, he's in the Underverse fighting Omega. That's my hope, my fingers crossed. But who knows? I mean, he's not seemingly with Unit. It seems like Belinda and Poppy are left with Unit to solve whatever problem's going on here. There's no Doctor in sight. I wonder where him and Ruby are. We'll just have to wait and see. Do you have any immediate theories on that? Well, let me know in the comments down below if you do. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy. As I say, another video will be coming out later today discussing more theories, more comments from Russell, loads of cool stuff. Subscribe, like, comment, share, etc. It really helps me out a lot. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Don't forget to click below and subscribe to the official Confused Adipose YouTube channel.
I will destroy you!
She's not seen a single episode.
No, I've watched your episodes.
Keep these sonic screwdrivers.
What else am I saying about the film? Don't watch this one.